Match week 14 of the Premier League is here. Who will come out on top? Who will be at the top of the table? Who is going to be in the relegation zone? Lots to see. Well, actually, no one could leave the relegation zone. Luton's safe. But top of the table, there could be some shifts. Top four, the very top, even. It's going to be a very interesting weekend. Currently, Arsenal sit atop with 30 points, City behind with 29, Liverpool behind on 28, level with Villa, only ahead on goal difference, Liverpool. And then you have Spurs and Man United 26 and 24. So no one could really crack into the top four besides Spurs, but top five is expected to get Champions League next season. So that's more of a conversation to be had later on in the season, depending on how English teams do in the Europa League and Champions League and Europa Conference League. So let's get right into the predictions. I'm Sideline Sedo, by the way. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. And first off, we have Arsenal versus Wolves. I would prefer for Arsenal to lose or draw, but I think it's going to be a pretty flattering Arsenal win. I'm going to go for 3-0 goals from, say, Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, and let's say Saliba scores. Why not? Saliba, just because, I don't know, I feel like it. Wolves, they've been doing okay this season. Let's look where they're at in the league table. Wolves are 12th. It's not the worst place for Wolves to be. Realistically, when you look at the points, a couple wins and, they're up in this conversation in the mid-table sort of area, maybe Europa League and Conference League positions later if they can kind of find their bearings. But I think Wolves has been a fairly good team. I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal kind of maybe even struggle against Wolves to some degree. Maybe it's going to be a harder fixture than I'm saying, but that's my prediction for now. Brentford versus Luton Town. I would love to see Luton win. I mean, Luton doesn't need to win this weekend, though. Brentford's going to be a tough opponent, especially away. Luton is safe from anybody, really, getting up into 17th place. They could even potentially, if things go their way, end up as high as 16th. So that's something to consider. I think they'll score Luton for some reason. I'm going to say 2-1 to Brentford, though. I'm going to say that we get goals from Brian Buemo, Yona Wisa, and Tai Chong. Moving forward, though, Burnley versus Sheffield United. And this is one of these teams might end up sacking their manager. Oop, wrong tab. We'll get to the fantasy football later, or fantasy Premier League or whatever it's called. Both sides need a win here. Sheffield has looked rotten. And the fact that Burnley is below them, Everton, you have the point deduction. I think Everton's looked a lot better this season than they did last. I think they'll be fine from relegation, should everything go their way. But, never say never. The Premier League is a treacherous place, honestly. So Sheffield versus Burnley, I mean, honestly, I'm going to say a 0-0. I think this is just going to be a drag of a fixture for some reason. 0-0. It'll either be a goalless draw or a draw. I can't see either side winning, which honestly for them puts them where? I mean, on 5 and 6 points. That's not looking too good. Next is Nottingham Forest versus Everton. And I think Everton's gonna get the win. Let's say a 2-1 win for Everton. Goals from, let's say, Danjuma and Dwight McNeil. And for Nottingham Forest, let's say Taiwo Awoniyi scores. I feel like every time I predict him to score, he ends up scoring. But yeah, that's my prediction. 2-1. I think Everton will sneak a win. League table wise, that would put them up to 7 points, right behind Luton. And that would also mean that Nottingham Forest would, they'd be stuck on 13, which isn't ideal for them. They would like to rack up some more points as well, like every side does. But I think they're going to lose at home. Next up is one of the fixtures of the weekend. I'd say this is definitely the fixture of the day for Saturday. It's Newcastle versus Manchester United. Tough one to call. I'm gonna be honest, but Man United, they feel it, and also if you look at the league table, I mean, it's a single point differential right there. United's goal difference, though, if you look at it, Newcastle's goal difference is plus 17. That's absolutely insane compared to United's basically zero. I think United are gonna lose. I'll say 3-1. Goals from, let's say, Anthony Gordon, um, Isak, and I feel like there's somebody else that might get a goal. Let's give Isak a brace. Isak will get a brace, and we'll see a goal from, who's the other person I said? It was a forward, Anthony Gordon. So Isak, Anthony Gordon for Newcastle, and then for Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes. Why not? Bournemouth versus Aston Villa, first fixture of Sunday. How am I feeling about this? I mean, I think Villa will get the win. I'll say 3-2 win for Villa. I think it's gonna be kind of a crazy fixture. We'll see goals from Dominic Solanke. We'll see a goal from, say, Philip Billing. I don't know if he's fit even, but let's just predict that. And then for Aston Villa, Douglas Luiz will get a goal. We'll see a goal from, I don't know if Ollie Watkins is fit. There's a 50% chance that he's fit. But let's say Moussa Diaby gets a goal, Douglas Luiz gets a goal, and why not? Why not John Duran? Why not John Duran? That's right. Chelsea versus Brighton, another great weekend for fixtures, might I add. That's absolutely insane so far, like what we have lined up. This is another one that really gonna make people question which way it could go. Let's be honest. League table wise, also Bournemouth, Aston Villa might have to consider their positions. That would mean Aston Villa go up to 31 points, and it would also mean that, I mean, Bournemouth would be stuck on 12, which would be rough. If they lose and Nottingham Forest lose, it's not so bad as I predict, but we'll see how it plays out. Next is Chelsea, Brighton, and if you look at the league table, I mean, it is close. If Chelsea get this win, it'd be a statement win for them. They'd be, a win away from Brighton, and in decent position. Not too far in goal difference if they win. They might even be level if they win by a goal, right? No, they'd have to win by 2 goals to overtake Brighton with goal difference after like next week. But moving forward, I think this prediction's one of the tougher ones for the week. I don't know. I'm going to predict a Chelsea win. I'll say a 3-1 Chelsea win. Goals from Sterling, Cole Palmer, and Nicholas Jackson. And for Brighton, we'll see who could score. João Pedro. Why not? Why not João Pedro? Liverpool, Fulham. A fixture that I'm excited for. I want to see, Liverpool played really well against LASK. A lot of starters did play though midweek, so it is a Sunday fixture. It is early too, so not kind of midday, I guess, not too early, but I mean, I think Liverpool will. Honestly, it's tough to say. What's Fulham's run of form been, and what are they like in the table? Also, Chelsea Brighton would mean, Chelsea would be close to. I mean, they wouldn't even leapfrog West Ham. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, Liverpool Fulham. A loss for Fulham. I mean, if everyone else is losing, though, that's fine for Fulham, I'd say. But a loss for Fulham would be brutal. Fulham, if Chelsea were to lose, Fulham would jump all the way up to 10th. Depending on some other fixtures. But that's crazy. I'm gonna say that Liverpool ends up winning this match 3-1 as well. Fulham, have they even been? I need to see. I feel like I haven't thought about Fulham for a while, but they're always a tough fixture for Liverpool. Results. Here we go. 3-2, 3-1, 1-0, 1-1, 2-0, 3-1, 2-0, 0-0. Yeah, 2-2 with Arsenal. Yeah, I'll say 3-1 to Liverpool. Goals from Salah, Luis Diaz, and say Alexis McAllister scores his first goal for Liverpool. That'd be nice. Moving forward, West Ham versus Crystal Palace. Also, the Liverpool fixture would mean Liverpool would be level with Aston Villa on points. They'd also be 2 points behind Arsenal still in this situation. West Ham Crystal Palace, though, 20 points to, I mean, hey, could close the gap. I think it'll be a draw, 2-2. West Ham, we'll see Ward-Prowse and Jared Bowen score, and Eze and Edouard will score for Crystal Palace. And finally, the fixture of the weekend, the fixture of the day for Sunday, Tottenham versus Manchester City. And let's be honest, Tottenham aren't looking too good right now in terms of, their current state of affairs. If you look at the results, they're not too pretty. 2-1 to Aston Villa, 2-1 to Wolves, 4-1 to Chelsea. They haven't won a game since the Chelsea loss, and I don't think they're going to win it. I don't think they can win it really away at the Etihad to City. The Wolves loss was tough. The Villa loss was also tough, but they're without center backs. They're without their star signing from the summer. It's expected, but for some reason I'm feeling a draw. And I don't know if I'm going to get lucky with the prediction, but I'm feeling a draw. I'm feeling a 2-2 draw. Does that seem right? Yeah. Yeah, they haven't been able to score 2 since they lost. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. How about that? 1-1 draw. Not a 2-2 draw, 1-1 draw. We'll see a goal from Heung-min Son and Erling Haaland. That'll be that. Which would mean that league table-wise, City would be on 30 points. Liverpool and Villa would leapfrog City. Tottenham would be on 27. Newcastle would be on 26, leapfrogging United. And then, West Ham would close the gap on Brighton. It'd start to get real tight in the, 9th to 6th place region. But finally, my fantasy football team, I already made the changes I was going to do on video, but I figured I'd reveal it to everybody right at the end. I used my free hit, meaning that these transfers didn't cost anything, but there are some notable exceptions. Alexis McAllister, 1.8 points average so far. Even though I'm predicting him to score, I feel like the team needed some changes. I had a player injured at center back, a player injured in the midfield, a player injured up top, and Udogie playing, and I don't necessarily rate Tottenham's defense as it stands, so I didn't want a Tottenham defender even in the squad. Menji right here on the bench also, Teden Menji, 2.2 points, but 3.9 mil, not too bad, and honestly, he's been getting kind of a run-in, so you never know. He did score against Crystal Palace, so I feel like why not? Bring him in. Evan Ferguson on the bench. I think long term Ferguson's a kind of relatively, uh, you know, relatively cheap option. 6.1 mils, not, it's top 20, but you want someone like that. He is off form, but he did score against Nottingham Forest. I just don't think he's going to score this weekend against Chelsea. Um, Besides that, Ward-Prowse stays, Soboslai stays. I think he'll pick his form back up again. Salah stays. Gordon is in. He's just been ridiculous. Same with Douglas Luiz. He's just been insane as well. Gabriel for Arsenal stays. Trippier stays. Trent stays. Digne on the bench. I think Digne is somebody to consider, but I think, like I predicted, I think that Bournemouth will lose at home to Villa. So I predict both sides to score goals in that match. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. But those are my predictions. Comment down below. Let me know. What do you think of, match week 14? Who do you think will be on top of the table come the end of the match week? And yeah, let me know. Sound off in the comments. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video if you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Sideline Sedo. Peace.